Amanda Amble's here. If you've not been on my channel, I talk about what's on my mind and in my heart. I often make commentary about the society we live in and random stuff as well, like dancing or etymology, the meaning of words. And often it's out when I'm out and about walking my dog. Today I'm at Burnham and and Burnham on Sea, that's in Somerset. I'm based in Glastonbury myself, and so that's a bit about me. So this video is all about how weird stuff is getting, how strange, how inverted things are going in the world, and I think it's got us all feeling like we're a little bit crazy ourselves, and I think there's a lot of mental health issues and problems. And so I think I hit a nerve when I did a little short about it recently. So I thought I'd do a slightly longer video today, just expanding on that and some of the thoughts that you shared with me as well. So I started the video just strolling along the seafront, but now I'm in the camper van because it's very wet, very windy, and quite frankly, me and Rora's would just prefer to be here chilling. She is just chilling out on her bed at the back here. Well, yeah, we slept in this van recently and it was very cold, wasn't it, Roz? But it's good to get out the rain, I think. Yeah, I'm making a slightly longer video about how unpredictable things feel, how abnormal and discombobulating and just plain weird. Had some amazing comments on my short that I made, and I think a lot of you are relating to that feeling. There's also a lot of YouTubers talking about how they don't feel quite present. They might be in conversations, they might be with people, they might even be having deep conversations, but it feels like a part of them is just not there. And I'm just wondering about the actual fabric of reality, the nature of reality. Maybe that is shifting. Maybe the way we perceive things, ourselves, the world, the energies. I'm a big fan of Nikola Tesla, who said that if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency and vibration. And yeah, it feels like the vibration is really changing. Some people are predicting that Gaia or Mother Earth is speeding up, her energies are speeding up, and that in response to that, us human beings are going to have to change our ways. But it feels very much like the masks are coming down. There's nowhere to hide, whether that's on a political level, whether a personal level, spiritual level. You know, the masks of the gurus, of the people who stand up and claim things, they're all slipping. The climate activists, all of that, you know, it's as though reality is changing and we're able to see through people, situations. And it's quite interesting watching somebody like Katie Price, and, you know, some women, they're like, a lot of their fame and fortune is based on their beauty, their physical beauty. And it's quite interesting to see how tragically things are going for her at the moment. It makes me really sad to see these people, because it's almost as though they were glorified by a society, you know, to have the perfect body, the amazing face. You know, now they've got sort of amazing big fat lips and they've got tattooed eyebrows. And even on some of the sort of more natural channels, I've noticed that, you know, there's some women are quite preoccupied with makeup or what they're wearing, whether their glasses are reflective. And to be honest, I do like to put a bit of makeup on sometimes, but you know what? What comes through is who you are underneath all of that. Doesn't matter how many surgeries you have, plastic surgeries or tattoos or whatever, but it can be quite addictive. You know, it's all about how we appear to be on the outside. But imagine if the emphasis sort of shifted to going within instead of always what's on the outside. You know, in terms of things being inverted, I feel like in COVID times when I stood for freedom and I stood for saying no, I want bodily autonomy, that got seen as something which was right wing, propagandist, or that I was somehow, I don't know, that I'd changed and that I'd been radicalized by the system. But honestly, the more that you see through things, and the more that you see how it's almost this division, this atomization of two sides. I may have talked before about the Hegelian dialectic, and that's almost like the splitting up into things into two sides. It's as though those pulling the strings, they want us to be at war with each other. And I think some people have sort of talked about having this jar of ants, red ants. So if you put red ants and black ants in a jar, they don't attack each other. If you shake the jar, then they'll go for each other. But I'm sort of feeling like there's a lot of disorientation. It used to feel, for me anyway, that I'd make a decision, I'd put it into plans, and then I'd go for it. But honestly, in the last few months, I've been all over the place. I was going to move, then I wasn't. I put my place on the market. Then I started to decide to love my garden and not move. I've been literally all over the place. And I wonder if any of you feel a bit like that. I tried to explain it to a friend in the shop yesterday where I work, and I said, I feel a bit like I'm on hold. It almost feels like we're anticipating something much bigger. And obviously there was that, the hunter virus, what was it called? Hunter virus. And that was, it was pulling some of the same strings that happened in 2020. Laura, what do you make of it all? Is everything very inverted? I think so. So I feel like they're trying to discourage us from having animals. The vet prices are going through the roof, literally. And they're trying to discourage us from real, true, deep connection. And it feels like they're quite clever in all the games that they're playing, the strings that they're pulling. But if we can be aware of this and we can actually counteract this, lots of other plans that they've put into place have never been carried out. I feel like that there will be disclosure this year or very soon. But at the same time, disclosure just means them telling us as much as they want us to know. It's very, very strange with what went on with the scientists who were working on anti-gravity, and it's been proven about time travel. And I do believe that Nikola Tesla was a time traveler as much as anything else, and I think that he very much probably brought back all the technology from Tartarian times before the reset, and implemented that in his designs and in his inventions. So it's very much like ancient technology. And if we look at the pyramids, we look at all the mysteries of what went on in the past, it feels like all of it has been interpreted in a way for us to understand. It's a history which has been very much curated and very much taught to us in a way that, that we can be very conditioned. If you look into Guy Anderson, he talks about Tartaria and cloning and all sorts of things, the Cabbage Patch babies and things like this. It's very interesting. I guess I'm making this video because I want to connect with you guys, and with all the pubs closing down and lots of things, and the high streets in town centres, lots of shops closing down, small businesses not really being encouraged. We've got to be cheerleaders to each other. We've got to encourage each other to set up businesses, to become the people that we want to become, because there's always opportunity. And in this world, creativity, entrepreneurial people, all of that, and being an artist, being a musician, being a misfit, those are very valuable roles. Not just earning loads of money, working in football or in the solicitors. And let me just say, you know, I have a very successful brother. One day one of my family may watch one of my videos, you never know. They don't show too much interest in me. But I just realised one day why pop stars, why footballers get paid so much. It's because they're a distraction from the truth of what's really going on. And it's inverted, isn't it? Because all of the carers, the people that are doing very valuable work for humanity and for the world, those are the ones that get paid the least and get rewarded the least. So yeah, everything's inverted. And if you look at masculinity and femininity and divine masculinity and femininity, that is also getting very confused and it's becoming very toxic. I don't really go on dating sites or anything, but there are all these terminologies like pansexual. There's 100 different terminologies for sexual orientation. And I don't really have a problem with that too much, but it does seem a bit strange when people are identifying with being strange creatures or animals. And that really is a thing. It's a real thing in the world. And it'd be quite nice if we could go back to those old-fashioned values, because I do believe that all of it is to smash society into pieces so that there is not so much awareness, so perhaps there isn't so much population, that with the eugenics system that's being implemented, that there are less, you know, they're going for the family, the nuclear family. They're going for people who may want to have children. So all of it is an agenda, and I just really wish that people could wake up to it. And I do sound like, you know, a typical Generation Xer, but I can really see the division. I can really see the inversion of everything. And yes, it feels weird. I often feel like I'm living in some kind of weird zombie apocalypse, surreal film. But then I realise it's almost like I wake up and then it's real life. And that dream is like how life is feeling. Remember the song, you know, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat. I mean, that is a very deep nursery rhyme, isn't it? Like a lot of them are. Anyhow, yeah, and I also think that very much in religion or in spirituality, things are being inverted. It's very much about the loudest coming to the fore, the number of YouTube followers that you have, that almost can make or break you actually in the world that we're living in. And it's all about getting out there, isn't it? How about going in there a little bit? It'd be really good if it was encouraged to go in there and understand who we are, knowing thyself, knowing who we actually are. Because I think spirituality has also been diluted. It's become quite toxic. In Glastonbury, there are tarot readers everywhere. There's all kinds of spirituality being sold to us. It's almost consumerism. All the crystals are overpriced. And it seems like those who shout loudest get noticed. But wouldn't it be wonderful to live in a world where, you know, those silence is listened to, quietness, pulling back from, you know, the wheel of samsara, as it were. Right, so I didn't expect this to be such a long ramble, but I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've related to some of it. And but I also would like to offer positive solutions. Connect with your community, connect with your neighbours, connect with each other. If you have fallouts, try to get to the bottom of why you've fallen out with that person. Try not to overreact. And I think very much my desire to move away from Avalon or the Isle of Glass is very much a knee-jerk reaction to personal stuff that was happening to me. Will go well, and yeah, remember, not all who amble are lost. So keep ambling, keep rambling, keep expressing who you are. Loads of love from me. Take care.